I'm more excited for mods than Halo Infinite, and by the end of this video, you might be too. Halo's MCC PC mods will change everything about Halo, yet still be something so familiar that we love. Today, let's talk about the 10 mods that are pretty much guaranteed coming to PC. The Halo Master Chief Collection is already confirmed to get mod support in the future. In fact, the developers of Halo ElDewrito, Halo Online basically, are helping with this mod support aspect, but giving us the tools to mod over 6 Halo games, 4 of which have never been on PC before, will forever change Halo, and if you don't believe me, just watch. Look at games like Garrys Mod, Fallout, Skyrim, Minecraft, 2005's Battlefront 2, Grand Theft Auto, and so on. Despite these games being pretty old, all these games are also stupidly popular, and partly because the community feeds itself free, fulfilling, and fun content all the time, and that's about to happen to Halo. And while mod support unfortunately isn't coming at launch, there's probably going to be mods for the Halo games anyway, before mod tools ever even come out, and mods will begin likely cropping up in smaller forms about 2 weeks after Reach the PC version drops, likely somewhere in June this year. But for today's list, I'm going to list 10 mods that you should be very excited for, and some have already been made to some extent for another Halo game, or they're very highly demanded ideas that the community will undoubtedly recreate and manifest in time. They're gonna happen, so I want you to think about Reach or Halo 3 gameplay when I talk about these mods. That's what I have in mind, which by the way, these mods will essentially be free DLC that will revolutionize custom games and change everything we remember about playing Halo and making it familiar, fun, and exciting to be a part of. So let's get into it. At number 10, Community Remastering. Consider already an unofficial Halo 3 anniversary and remaster is on its way. Now, this was a demand by the Halo community. People wanted to see Halo 3 redone, but it wasn't quite enough for 343 to be convinced, so the fans are gonna have to do it this time, and I'm pretty damn sure it's gonna happen. Halo 1 and 2 have already been remastered officially, but Reach and 3 could probably use an upgrade, with better graphics, higher quality textures and maybe models, new dialogue, more enemies, custom weapons and vehicles in the campaign, and custom modded enemies, and playing maybe the campaign with up to 20 other Spartans and even more enemies on legendary difficulty could all be possible, and that's very exciting to look forward to. Updating, revamping, and modding Halo's campaigns will give people like myself, and maybe yourself as well, who don't really play the campaigns very much, a reason to revisit all of the campaigns, now with an arsenal of custom weapons and modded crossover weapons and new music and enemy changes, and being able to play with much more than just your friends, with perhaps other people that you just met. So this is something that you can really look forward to. I believe that there is a Halo 3 anniversary that will be made. Number 9, theater and machinima tools. Now, I grew up on machinima, Halo films, so it's sad to see that it's more or less dead. Halo films were dramatic and funny, or straight up cinematic and heartbreaking at times. So mods will likely expand upon theater, allowing us to get the shots in the campaigns, or including a rewind feature so we can actually have decent screenshots in the campaigns, as well as the options to delete objects, add effects, and essentially give people a pipeline to work with to make really awesome Halo movies with the support of mods, as well as screenshots for those that love doing screenshots. At number 8, custom game modes. Now, of course, Halo has an abundance of game modes, and with the recent releases, they've been just getting more customizable, less restraints, but they still have limits and boundaries. So with mods, players will be able to add literally any number, any setting, any skin, or function to any other setting. Essentially, the game modes that exist in Halo will be untethered, being able to go literally in any direction the modder wants. Existing game modes like CTF could maybe change the flag to something else like a vehicle instead, or a skull, and Assault and CTF maybe could run at the same time in the same game, maybe with multiple teams on Capture the Flag. And perhaps why Slayer is also an element of the gameplay, so when you kill someone, and perhaps that counts towards a considerate amount of points that adds to your team so you can win the game. Perhaps even Infection and CTF could mutate together, so which may be, by the way, have flood models and skins, I'm sure, will be able to play capture the flag and infect humans and basically try to get the flag, or vice versa. Now, I could go on, but I think you get the idea here. Entirely new mods, entirely new maps could be compensated and created through custom game modes, which I'm sure modders will go for custom game modes in the very beginning of the releases and begin to experiment and create some really cool, dynamic, and interesting gameplay, yet still feeling like familiar Halo gameplay. At number 7, a Forge rehaul. If you like custom games, custom maps, and so on, then this is very important for you. Even if you're a person that doesn't use Forge, this will change gameplay forever, because Forge will easily be one of the biggest aspects that modders go for. They're going to toy with it, they're going to play with the scripts, they're going to change the foundation of what makes Forge. They're going to give us unlimited budgets, new Forge pieces from the campaign, or even other Halo games porting things in, maybe even from games that aren't related to Halo, modifying weapon range and abilities, adding scripts for AI versus player gameplay, and maybe pipelining tools for us in-game to play with the actual foundation of the Forge mode, also allowing us to change textures, adding custom pieces into maps, and even Forge specific maps will be created for us to use on Forge, like Halo ElDewrito's Flat Grass, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a large plain of grass, giving players what they've always wanted, just a damn decent place to forge and making it very large. And in the thick of it, I'm sure modders will also give us the ability to remove parts of base maps, like removing mountains on base maps like on Standoff or Valhalla, removing the bases on Valhalla even, and having crossover objects using base pieces or things like from Foundry on Sandtrap and so on, giving us the full range of all the Forge pieces regardless of what map it is. And let us not underestimate the potential of AI. Having AI in Forge implies a lot of different things. So not only will modders be able to create AI battles from the back end, but also giving us the ability to just drop brutes into gameplay, or dropping elites or flood or spawn points for these people and then for these enemies, and then giving us the ability to add their spawn rate, how many comes out, what player they go after, how aggressive are they defensive of something, are they attacking something, giving us a pipeline of really simple tools so casual forgers can create some very epic AI battles that that get the AI to attack each other or the player or both. Could be extremely dynamic and fun gameplay, especially if it's set during a CTF or Slayer match, with one side perhaps having brutes on their side and the other side having elites. For example, imagine Valhalla. This could be a very simple mod, I'm sure, having elite spawn on one side of Valhalla defending the flag, and then brutes spawning on the other side, with maybe 5 or 10 of each being set to being aggressive, so they go to the other side of the map and they try to kill enemy players and so on. Now, this sounds like a dream, but honestly, we've already seen this stuff in Halo 1 and 2, and I'm sure if they give us the tools, this is going to be one of the very first things that we see. The potential is limitless with Forge, right? It is amazing, and we've seen the ElDewrito team scratch the surface, and since 343 is helping ElDewrito with this MCC mod support, then by golly, it is going to be amazing, guys. But guys, let me know down in the comment section below if you have any ideas to build upon my theories for Forge customization here. It's a lot to look forward to. At number 6, custom armor. Alright, armor customization has always been a big part of Halo multiplayer, and now with Halo mods, we're going to see crossover armor, limitless armor customization from head to toe. I'm talking about changing our Spartan boots or taking off all our armor and just having an undersuit like in Halo ElDewrito. This has already happened, by the way, guys. Changing our shins, our knee pads, our leg armor, undersuit color, our belt, our chest, wrist, back, swords, or maybe a backpack on our back, shoulder plates, arm and wrist and hand plates and armor and helmet, visor color, HUD elements, and even just base colors, and maybe even perhaps custom skins that we can import from online, or a painting tool in the editor, custom decals on our armor by uploading PNG files, maybe even the ability to play as brutes or grunts in multiplayer. You know, like in Halo 3 you could pick if you want to play a Spartan or an elite. Well, what if you could pick a brute or pick a grunt, or pick a flood form. Possibilities are endless here, alright? Player customization is on the rise, and keep in mind we might even have special key characters and skins and models, such as being able to play as Sergeant Johnson on Halo 3 multiplayer, right? The Arbiter, or be able to play as a member of Noble Team online, you know? Custom Monier armor seen only in concept art or the books, or original custom Halo armor created by a modeler that ported it into the game. Limitless ideas here for armor and player models, so let me know down in the comments below if you have any ideas about player models and custom armor. At number 5, gameplay mods. Changing the UI in the main menu and the menus around the game, the HUD, the functions of gameplay, the mechanics, for example, health, speed, or even adding original armor abilities, or even bringing jetpacks to Halo 3, tinkering with the very aspect of what we consider vanilla Halo, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that is going to happen. It's probably going to be the most common mod, something involving the gameplay, as well as the mod that has a lot of potential overall to make, well, the mods and the gameplay exactly what we want it to be, to fit with the maps, to fit with the vision of the modders. Third-person gameplay will also be possible, adding custom abilities such as maybe an extreme version of ground pound, jetpack, melee fighting, magic casting, aiming down sight if you want that, picking up things, interacting with the level, playing as different species, role-playing, playing as the Flood in AI versus player battles, playing as Sentinels, Foreigners, and more. Really, the sky is the limit, and I think some of these things are undoubtedly going to happen very soon after launch. At number 4, new vehicles. A big demand I've seen over and over the years here on HaloFollower is for people wanting to drive a Scarab, and that's going to be possible through mods. But let's not forget other very likely things to soon come after the mods begin to hit, which is such as a Pelican, a drivable Phantom, UNSC and Covenant battle cruisers, and of course maybe even Foreigner ships as well. But let's not forget entirely new vehicles that we've never seen or had in gameplay before, like from the lore, from the books, from concept art or other games, or even of original design. But also seeing vehicles isolated to one game or another will likely return to multiplayer altogether, all in Reach or 3. For example, the Elephant, the Chopper, True Warthog, the Forklift, and other vehicles forgotten in the gameplay. And keep in mind the vehicles thus far, even existing vehicles like in Halo 3 and Reach, will likely be modded to every degree you can imagine. Faster speed, more firepower, new blasters, new looks, new models, new skins, new functions, or different third-person perspective, and maybe even a first-person vehicle driving mod as well. Also, ground-to-space combat, maybe flying Banshees up to capital UNSC ships would be really cool to see. Vehicles ultimately make or break a map for casuals, and if done right, there is some amazing gameplay to look forward to with mods. What vehicles do you want to see in Halo mods? Let me know down below. At number 3, custom maps. We're gonna see a lot of custom maps very soon after release, I believe. At least later down the road when mods really begin to roll out. Also expect skins of existing maps and modifications of existing maps like Valhalla, a snowy sand trap, and maybe a Forge world becoming snowy, or skinned like a desert, for example, maybe with no boundaries and expansions to the existing world. Also, custom maps will also expand into perhaps expansions of the map itself, so maps like Foundry from Halo 3 could be expanded upon. Maybe that infamous store will finally be able to be opened to a big Forge world sized map with original textures, design, and areas to explore, and hell, maybe even secret areas with AIs that lurk and attack players if we come near them. Really cool Easter eggs and custom maps as well, right? But custom maps are a no-brainer, right? Thousands of maps were made for Halo 1 Custom Edition and Halo 2 PC, and of course all the Forge maps out there, but also the tons of mods developed for Halo Online. So entirely new original levels are pretty much guaranteed, without a doubt. For either, large player battles, leisure, forging, and even competitive multiplayer. Unlimited possibility for Halo Reach in 3 maps, skyboxes, terrain, places to explore, old maps to revisit in new ways like skins, mysteries to discover, and so much more. And by the way, AI battles on Valhalla sound freaking fun as hell. There's a limitless amount of places we can explore and do. Forest, desert, snow tops, firefight maps with AI on maps that we are familiar with or original design. Custom AI fights like UNSC versus flood battles, flood firefight, human or covenant cities to explore, and so on. Just look at the creativity of Halo forgers or Halo mappers and the Halo community as it is, and you'll see there's a lot of possibility, a lot of worlds that we could discover on if the proper map tools are given to us. And even if they're not, well, you better bet there's still going to be some kind of custom maps because they weren't given with Halo Online, and people still figured out how to make it happen. Custom maps, without a doubt, will come soon after launch of each game. At number 2, think Invasion, but with more players. How fun would Halo gameplay be on a large open map, a world with 50 versus 50 players? How would map control, power weapons, and so on adapt naturally to this extremely new hostile Halo gameplay, a battle-torn map? And perhaps objectives like CTF and Assault thrown into the mix. How would that change the gameplay? How epic would that be? Maybe one with multiple flags or multiple assault points at the same time to defend or to attack. Also think AI factions and large player battles, right? Reinforcements of AI. World events happening like dropships flying overhead, firing at players. Now, I think all of this is very possible, given that it may take some time to actually happen, at least with the player count, but certainly this is all very possible and will probably happen because it's something that Halo players have wanted for many, many years. Players have time and time again request some form of large-scale combat between players, and 343 Industries already kind of accommodated us by making Warzone, which had this idea of a huge objective-based player battle, 12 versus 12 players with AI. But it's all a matter of time before modders begin toying with the limits of the engine themselves in regards of having more players and even modifying the source code to make this very possible and for other modders to also add upon it. If modders can make Skyrim a single-player game that just in its very code is meant to be a single-player game, not multiplayer, if modders can make that a co-op experience, which they have recently, then people can figure out how to make Reach and Halo 3 have 50 versus 50 or 100 versus 100 players in a single game, and I don't think that's too outlandish. And of course, having squads that you can be a part of in the game would be very crucial to a large-scale game so that your teammates can spawn on you, so that could make it easier to spawn in a large-scale map and not having to run all over the place. Reach will also probably be modded up the ass, with Invasion being modded like hell, right? But really, Invasion is a very simple concept that could be built upon where UNSC and Covenant forces battle it out defending a large generator or ship, only to have to fall back with a more deadly weapons and vehicles being offered to both sides as the game progresses. The possibilities here are really quite limitless, and when modders get their hands into the codes, well, it's all over with. It's gonna be super fun. At number 1, custom and modded campaigns. Now, you might think that this is sort of an expansion upon the custom maps, which I guess in a way it is, but custom campaigns is really an objective-based game, a mission, a map, with you and your friends with some kind of end goal in mind. Now, this is probably one of the biggest things that will change the Halo experience for us, because we're going to be able to explore and play with our friends on missions created by other fans. Alright, there is a shit ton of potential with this. Halo 1 even did this in a small scale with some maps spawning players at the beginning of a level, only to fight through hordes of custom AI, dinosaurs, and hunters. Well, Halo SVP 3 also took the lead with this custom campaign idea, or rather modded existing campaign idea, which, it did exactly what you'd expect. It revamped an existing campaign. So I'm really thrilled to see where fans will take the custom explorable maps. Modding the campaign missions leaves a lot of potential for Halo Reach 3 and Force campaign. Okay, so think of this. Halo 3, you're playing Halo 3 with you and your friends, exploring a large forest set in Halo lore. It looks kind of like Sierra 117, it's sort of based off that mission, but it's completely new, right? You're fighting through through hordes of Flood, through Covenant, and maybe even some rebels. Then you explore an underground mining cave only to be attacked by more rebels and even Spartans that have turned against you and your side, UNSC. You keep traveling and acquire some large ships, maybe a Pelican, and eventually fight the Gravemind in a swarm of hundreds of defending Flood forms. It doesn't need to make sense, it just needs to be fun, right? And I'm also really thrilled for custom campaigns because there's a lot of potential there. Players will be able to change the dynamic of vanilla gameplay. For example, they're going to be able to give us superpowers or some kind of cool new weapons, or change the enemy account, or change the type of enemy. So maybe in Halo Reach we're fighting the Flood. Doesn't need to make sense, right? And base missions that we've already played through probably many times will be fresh and new and familiar, and we'll be able to play it all over again, and it will be super duper fun. In fact, what if we up the player count in campaign missions where we can play with maybe 8 other Spartans or 12 other Spartans, right? And also being able to play like Forge or multiplayer on campaign missions, I think would be a possibility. So playing CTF on a campaign mission might be something we can look forward to. We're just scratching the surface of mods that will revamp Halo. Mods made by fans for the fans, and it's going to change everything, and it's only going to get better with time, and I'm definitely going to cover that here on HaloFollower. Halo mods galore, right? 343's priority is keeping cheats out of the game, which really, that word cheats or cheat is just it's a mod that causes an unfair, unofficial advantage, right? And it concerns me how mods will be regulated in the collection of games on MCC such as Reach or Halo 3. I really don't want them to push out these mods or ban players that are just confused about how mods work, you know? So they need to make sure that there is a fair line between mods and cheats, right? So perhaps there could be official servers that do not allow any mods whatsoever, so we have a vanilla experience we can count on. And then we have unofficial servers that are hosted by mods, where the host is able to modify literally anything about the game. So when entering the game, you automatically download the mods that you need to, to play with the others, right? Some are concerned that 343 may want to block third-party content here. For example, like if a mod had a weapon from Fallout being ported into Halo, 343 would go, take measures to stop any other games from being ported into Halo, essentially. And that wouldn't be very fun, right? Because we want to see, we want to play with our mods, right? Well, I doubt Microsoft will interfere because they have a really good track record about not getting into that kind of area like Bethesda, for example. They don't get in the way of mods. And considering they haven't with Halo 1 or 2 mods, which have plenty, I'm sure, of copyright infringements on them, well, they're not going to get in the way of that. So let me know down below, what mod are you looking forward to most in Halo MCC? Did I mention it here on this list? Did I not mention it? What is it? Is it a map, a weapon, a game mode, or a gameplay idea? Playing as the Flood or the Covenant, large player arenas, large-scale battles? Let me know your thoughts, your wishes and fantasies and ideas down below, and I'm pretty sure some modders in the future would like to come to this video and dig through those comments and read your ideas for inspiration on upcoming mods. So, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned and hit that notifications bell because YouTube's notification system's a little bit wonky recently. And be sure to drop this video a like. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.